Hello. starting a podcast. Gianu, and welcome to our very first podcast, which we're very excited about. This actually is a little bit of a prop because it's not really working. So
professional bandeya.
We did try. Today we just wanted to really kind of invite you into our sort of lives, and in particular, obviously, the Dance with MVR page. Talk about how it all began, where I sort of all started my dancing journey, where I met Jas along my dancing journey, and how some of the life lessons that we've learned along the way that might be able to help you guys out as well, all whilst having a cup of tea.
Yeah. And biscuit. We'll not forget about the main. But go on then, man. So give it a good start, and let's go right back to basics.
Where did I start? Give tea.
Okay.
Do you know what? It's been a hell of a journey when I think back to like back in the day. So my first initial performance was probably at school when I was like 16.
And school was in
Walsall.
Good
old Walsall.
Midlands massive.
Yeah. So at high school did like it was a fashion show that we'd put on in sixth form, and that was my first Bhangra performance.
Oh.
However, Bhangra for me started way before that, and Giddha, of course, mainly due to the fact that we had a lot of family weddings. Every weekend or something. And especially coming from such like a Desi family, it was all about Bolnia, the Giddha, the build-up, the dancing. And that really sparked the like jar inside me. I think that's.
Do you have like a first memory of like you as like a small child? Like, was there a specific wedding or?
I actually don't, but from what I get told from people, everyone's like, you were always just.
Oh, I love it.
Like constantly, just a lot. And the thing is, I actually went to my first trip to India, Punjab, was when I was 3 months old.
Wow. It changed her life forever.
Literally. I didn't want to come back.
But she still doesn't.
And I think because I kept going there and coming back, obviously the culture proper embedded within my life. First memory was probably like one of my cousin's weddings, and it was me and one of my other cousin, Manj, Susie. We loved dancing, and we'd be like the first ones on, just like nutting the top there around. And that's kind of where it all like really started in terms of the passion. And then just like from then it kind of went on to the whole journey with uni. Like uni obviously was a massive influence in my life. I met my life partner there, and that's where I really kind of like took off with dancing, especially going to Leicester, because those of you who know about Leicester, there is a lot of culture in Leicester. And so that's where I kind of met a lot of my like Bhangra friends, and was like literally was out one night at the SU, and one of my friends, Harry, came up and he's like, do you want to be a part of a Bhangra Showdown? And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I'll do it.
I don't know about you, but I feel like when I got to uni, like mine was similar to yours in the sense of like always absolutely loved dancing at weddings. I would always have the cringeworthy, like getting shoved forward and like, go on, you're a dancer, you'll like
go
that stuff. Literally, even when there was no one else on the dance floor. But then when I got to uni, I was like, oh, this is like a whole new world. That's like a world in itself, like Bhangra dances and like Showdown and like competitions.
It opened your eyes, doesn't it? Like it was like, wow, people do this to perform, like professionally, like, almost. It was amazing. Honestly, some of my best days were like rehearsing for Bhangra Showdown, and like you build that little family, you become a little Bhangra family. Actually, Bhangra for me was just like just chuck your hands in the air, dance, like, and then you get to uni and you start learning. Oh, there's an actual way to do this. There's an actual jugni. Okay, that's how you do that move. Oh, fasla. There's an actual name, and then you start learning about the background of the moves, and there's obviously like a whole education behind like Bhangra and Giddha, and that's where I was first like exposed to it, I suppose.
And that, I guess there's that education side of it as well. Like people just think of dancing as like, I'm not even going to get too deep into it, but you know, like people just think, oh, dancing, you know, it's so fun, it's great. But there's, you know, Bhangra obviously and Giddha comes from like an entire, like there's a meaning behind it. There's a piece of education and learning and culture and stuff. So,
and I think now there's so much out there, and there's so much knowledge available for people to know where Bhangra comes from, what it's about, which is amazing, because when we were young, there probably wasn't. It was just...
No, it was none of this YouTube or internet or anything. Okay, I've made us sound very old there. There was internet, but it was dial-up.
And your biscuit, can I? Biscuit.
Oh,
biscuit Lelo.
Thank you.
I've got a snack, you know. Gotta get this
bit of lemon zest in here.
And I met some amazing people along the way. Rob Verk from Canada, he kind of was our captain at that time and really taught us some crucial key elements to Bhangra, and like just little things about how to move your shoulder a bit more and how to actually execute moves. And that year I really enjoyed it, because it opened my eyes to so much more about little things. Like a lot of us probably do get into the... I don't know where I'm going with this now. Go on.
Got me. I just love I ain't got a clue, love. I ain't got a clue.
Baby
no, we were
brain.
doing well. We were doing well.
Brain.
The first ever performance was Showdown.
Oh, actually, it was probably the SU.
She tells a lie.
Yeah, it was probably the Students' Union. When
Have
we
you
had
ever
this
seen footage of
ditchy
that?
little stage? No. And all I remember is towards the end, we had Appana Sangeet on, and we were like, Appana Sangeet our way out of the stage and out of the thingy. It was quite funny, actually.
Repeat the move like 10 times.
But yeah, so that was probably like my first memories of like almost performing. But then alongside like Showdown, I met a very beautiful soul, Sumitra. Love you. And she was a massive influence on me. I looked up to her because at the time she is an amazing dancer, and she's got her own unique style. And Jess knows this as well, because...
Do you know what? It's the passion.
Exactly.
You could have like one conversation with her and you'd be like, damn, this girl loves a Bhangra.
But she was a massive influence for me, and really the professional performance side of things began after uni when we finished. Thankfully, Sumitra was from Warsaw, so it kind of worked out quite well. And that's where we got together, and we thought, we don't want to just leave it here. We want to do something with this.
Yeah, it would be a shame to, like, looking back now, if we had, because I feel like all of us individually have had our own like passion and love for dancing and Bhangra and Giddha. So to have left uni and then for it to have all just gone away, it would have been quite sad. So okay, fast forward then to once you had left uni, then tell us what happened and
what happened
and where did you go?
Where did I go?
Where did your life?
After uni, it was pretty much like, we want to do something with this. So me and Sumitra, thankfully, lived around the corner from each other, and we decided we're going to get a Giddha group together, because at the time there were literally no girl groups. It was mixed groups or Bhangra groups, like guy groups, and we just knew that there was definitely a little market there. And at the time, Canada were really taking off with their mixed groups and their Giddha groups, and we wanted a bit of that here. We wanted a bit of that. So we used to literally have little meetings at my house, in my conservatory, be like, right, we need to get some girls together. And then came along Jasneet. But yeah, so you obviously one of our recruits.
One of the first
alongside Sandeep and a few of the girls. And even that time, I remember it was great, because we used to get together, and we took it quite seriously. Also we had a great time.
Yeah, like, I think because we loved it so much and had such a great time, like challenging ourselves by learning the dance moves. I know for some of the girls, as well, like some of the moves were like, we'd never ever done stuff like that before. In terms of like the Giddha, like man's got a really heavy background in Giddha, but for me, I'd say mine was, I probably knew like more Bhangra than I did Giddha, and then my love kind of progressed and went on there, because like I understand the meaning of everything in Punjabi, but I think the kind of singing it out loud and stuff like that, it really, I feel like it took off from that point of like learning even more and even more.
And I think Giddha at that time wasn't as widely appreciated. It's still, I don't think it still is, to be honest.
There's powerful Giddha stuff.
When I really got exposed to like university, like the Guru Nanak University Giddha group in Punjab, and a few other like Canada groups, like Punjabian Di, and there's another one I can't quite remember, but looking at their Giddha and what they did within 10 minutes, I could not take my eyes off them. I was like, that is amazing. You guys are telling a story and there is so much passion behind it. And that is key when it comes to dancing. The key ingredient is that passion and that like fulfillment of the jar.
With Giddha, you could follow the story, like, okay, if it was cussing your sass and stuff, like fine, but you'll have like loads of different, I didn't mean mine. We'll edit that out. Square.
Do you know what though, it's so light-hearted though, isn't it? Like there was one bully, I don't know if you remember this one, and it was the funniest bully we performed, because it's basically Dekho kudiyon ni meri maa turi aundiya and sire te sandara piche nuha lai aundiya, and like we performed it and we had a couple of girls pretended to be the nuha, and then it turned to Dekho kudiyon ni meri sasse turi aundiya. Do you remember the next bit?
Absolutely not, no.
It was chole piche dane piche kutte lai aundiya. And we had,
oh my god, I remember that.
I had like these 3 teddy bears, which were dogs, tied to string. And I was a sass, obviously.
The worst thing
and I pretended
we thought we were
sick. I had a chole of the dane, and I had kutte following me, and it was just honestly, it was hilarious, and the audience loved it.
Because I feel like stuff like that you can do with Giddha. Like you can have your audience interaction. You can have your bit like, you know, acting and stuff in there.
There was one time we performed, and Jas over here, great performance from Jas. She had to pretend to be the drunk husband, and it was based on the bully where they go let me just think
something about
it was मैं भी रोटी ना पुच्छी भी खा गया गंदे पट के मैं भी बूहाना खुले आया आ गया कंधे टप के. That was the bully. Rati cinema देखने गया ना गया. That's this bully. Obviously I performed it as the wife and the husband was just
I decided to take that role of a man.
And funny enough, we actually created a little fake wall as well. We went to great lengths for this particular performance.
We didn't think we were sick in this one. We just thought we were really creative in this one.
We created a lovely little wall, and Jas had to, like, you know, tap the gun and everything.
So I had to hold the gun whilst holding my outfit dressed as a man.
Oh yeah, you had a puggy, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that actually went really badly.
Unfortunately, it did fall.
Yes, it did. So whilst I was holding this prop wall and I had the outfit on, I had to then step over it and pretend like I was like jumping over a gun. And my outfit pretty much fell apart in front of everyone that we were performing in front of.
And you see, it's not just about dancing.
No. It's the creativity and your props.
That was actually a really good performance.
It was. We were then taking gigs like all over the UK. Like I know that's common for other people to do, but like full time. Yeah, everyone was full-time working.
It took a lot of commitment for rehearsals are hard. Like people who dance know getting time together to actually rehearse is hard.
Yes.
And then, you know, being able to fit around your life around performances and things like that. And we did it we made a good go of it for 2 years.
We did.
And then obviously people move on, people get married, and when girls get married, you move.
There's a whole lot of responsibility and for everyone, you know, things changed.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we really excelled in learning dances through video. So I think all of us are like so hot on, okay, which angle, which arm is being used here, because obviously when you record yourself it then flips, but like that was the challenge that we were happy to overcome, and that's how we overcame the distance and being so far apart, which I think,
do you know what I've just realized? We've missed a whole chunk of basically, so when we performed as a group, me, Jas, Sumitra, Sandeep, two of the other girls, we formed a group called Shaan Mutiyara Di, and we did wedding performance, Giddha performance, everything we kind of mentioned already. But we actually started getting calls and contacts to do videos, music videos, which back then was like,
oh my God, that was to come from places where we just danced at weddings, like for fun with our families. To then this world of Bhangra performance,
to be on Brit Asia TV,
to then be on the television, like for us back in the day, like you've got to remember that was before Instagram.
It was huge.
Such a big deal.
And our first proper video was Ashik.
Oh my
Miss
God,
Pooja.
You lot, smash that.
That was the one that Shaan Mutiyara Di first initially got. And
Miss Pooja.
It was,
oh my
and
God,
at that time she was on her peak, like she was
literally.
She was up
well
there.
Ashik definitely was like one of her like really, really big songs.
And it was just, it was nice, and there was a few different clips of me doing a bit of this, and I was like, oh,
getting those moves in there
on TV. But then that sort of like snowballed. Obviously we made really good contacts with PBN, Punjabi by Nature, HEPS, and we got contacted from a few different kind of DJs and like producers to do some more videos, and then came along sort of the JK video that we were just all thrown in the background which was good.
I haven't even seen. We'll have to go back and have a look at all of these videos. You know,
I need to. I'm
having an amazing time, and then Mandy goes and gets the, what do you call the? It's not an item.
The lead.
Lead, not an item. The lead on Let's Go Black there. Iconic song. So Mandy goes and gets the lead on that song. And like, again, people weren't really doing lead things. Like, why would you have a lead when you've got the singers to be at the front of it? Like, you would never have people doing that.
No.
And then this video comes along, and like, my God, like everyone resonated with it. This girl's acting,
it was crazy,
unreal. The nukri that this girl has.
I think I just smiled, and to be honest, I just had one of those faces of a themie that would be gussy constantly.
I am annoyed.
PBN had like give me the kind of the script or the song, and I was just like, oh my God,
I mean, a lot of this.
This is a lot of words. How am I going to learn all this? But do you know what? I loved that. And that's the thing. We always, any videos we took on, we had to make sure they were family appropriate.
Yes.
They were respectful. That was a huge thing.
Even when you were on set as well, you know, there's just like exactly how you would be, and especially as girls as well. As you would be at an Indian wedding, you know, you stick to your own, you have your family members there, everything's very respectful. You know, there's a lot of horror stories that everyone's heard, and we weren't about to be those people. So
definitely not.
I think we were, if anything, we were probably OTT in the right. Like not like attitude or anything, but just Sastikal, we're here for this. That's it. And
kept it very respectful.
I mean?
So we're very particular in what videos we picked.
Yeah.
And then when that came along, I was a bit like, oh, shouldn't I? But yeah, I was more than happy to jump at that opportunity. And do you know what? I enjoyed every second of it. It was an amazing laugh. Like, it was great to see the result as well, what the video came out as. And just before I go further into the whole video situation, at a time, we're talking now like 2011-ish, around then.
Yeah, about that.
Or 2010. At that time, you know, for girls dancing, even that were born and bred in the UK, it was still a slight stigma around that. And there was still a little bit of like, oh,
you're in a music, like even saying video. Oh, you're in a music video, like I don't know about anyone who's listening, but there's like a slight, it depends what family you've come from as well. Like if you've got any thissiness on any sides of the family, there's always that like, oh, you know, are they gonna say like, do you know that stupid like goody natch the and like silly things like that?
And it happens.
But it happens. You know, there was nothing wrong with it. Like luckily we're from families that are exceptionally supportive. Like obviously there's still some dissy sides in there from like relatives and stuff. But like my mum and dad have always been like, woo, you go, and like
shout out to mum and dad, because you know I have come from quite a dissy family, especially on my dad's side, and there definitely was comments made, definitely were, and I think for my mum and dad to kind of ignore those,
go against the grain,
against the grain and be like, well done both, actually, you know, it's quite good that you're doing that, and looking at it from an angle of talent rather than
what are you doing.
And that was massively important. Great adventure. The videos kept flowing in. We did so many different videos.
My favorite one of yours.
Which one?
What was it when you were dressed in purple?
JR Dread.
I swear down. I regularly, like once a year, I'll go back and I'll be like, look at her.
I absolutely loved my look on that video, like the way
the nookery as well. Like you just, I'll have to go back and have a look at that video now.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was definitely one of my favorites as well. Definitely an underdog video.
Great song as well.
So I had obviously a great journey doing videos, and then I moved to the northeast and I was married, and it was like, okay,
stop of all cultural things.
That's it. That's what you know. And even at that point, I was a bit like, not ready to give up yet, but we'll see. And I felt very isolated. There was a couple of years where I didn't really do any dancing apart from at weddings and stuff like that. But thankfully, Jasneet was in the northeast too.
Yes. Well, we were. Well, you're from the Midlands, but I went to uni in the Midlands. I know. Hence why we got together. And then the year that I moved back from uni, I think a month after that, Mand moved back. And I literally always say, like, thank God she moved back. And it was like a piece of like the normal uni dance stuff, and
was really like grateful to have Jasneet here, because that was my little connection, and then we kind of reconnected with some of our uni friends from Leeds and Huddersfield and that area, and we ended up joining Tohr Punjabian.
Do you know what, that came, we were so excited, because we were like, oh my god, like, are we gonna get to dance again? Like, do we get to do gigs, and do we get to, and again it was like a different, like, you know, some of the lads had different styles, some of the lasses had different styles. It was so good.
Again, we were learning everything. We were learning how to hold us up, and
that's the thing, I've got to say, man, like the humbleness of, like, I think what you guys kind of taught to start with, that's kind of resonated down with the rest of us, is like always being humble about stuff. 100%. Like there's a lot of avenue to be like, I mean, for you, come on, like I'm a sick dancer, you know, look at me, whatever. But the humbleness of, oh no, like if you've got something to teach me, 100% I'll learn it. Like that's something that I've got to say I do really rate, because it's I'm getting soppy now, because it's so, I mean, it's not easy to get like
but
carried away.
One massive life lesson, there's always going to be somebody a little bit better than you, a little bit, do you know what I mean? And the thing is, it's not about being the best. You can be the best version of yourself, of course, but you can't always, you just, you have to be humble about these things, because there's always going to be something new to learn. And the minute you actually accept that, the more comfortable you are as a dancer. Because there was a time in my life where I used to look at other dancers and be like, oh my god, look how high her knee goes. Wow, literally. Look at her double D. And you can't just keep comparing yourself and trying to beat them. You've got to be the best that you can be. So, and it's about learning off people as well.
100%.
But those rehearsals with Tohr started off in warehouses. You remember that warehouse?
Oh my God, in Bradford. Good old Bradford.
And that was warehouse. It's just a group of friends getting together and just having some roti and having some Bhangra at the same time. And
I get excited thinking about like adulthood now, but then it was like, for me, it was like a little bit of uni again. A bit of uni, a bit of dancing, and like.
And I must say, like, I am so grateful for those years, because it's been quite difficult over the last like 3-4 years to be
COVID,
fully,
essentially.
And to be fully a part of the group, and you have to be dedicated to groups for performances and things like that. And I think that's where I met some amazing people, a part of the group, and there were definitely a couple of people from the group that kind of helped me find my way into the whole dance with MVR and kind of bringing that journey to life. And again, I wanted to bring more Giddha and that side of things into it, because I still felt that was getting left behind. A couple of shout outs.
Here we go.
We've got definitely Rohit has been a massive part of my journey with my dance page. Pushed me to kind of like, go on, you've got to do something, you've got to do something.
Man. Ideas.
He's the bomb. And then Simran as well, very, very talented girl. We've learned so much from, she's younger than us, we've learned so much from her.
Is Sim like 10 years younger than us?
She's probably almost 10 years younger than us.
10 years younger than us, and like straight
the girl
up,
is talented.
we have but that's again, that's the as long as you keep yourself humble, you can get snippets of learning, and I feel like that's like relevant for life as well.
In my eyes, one of my like favorite Bhangra dancers, just because of the way she executes it and her passion that's come across. And passion. You know what, the dancing journey is not just about the dancing, it's about the people that we've met along the way and how they've influenced us as well.
The people is what's kept, like sometimes you do get into a rut, and I feel like the people, sometimes all you need is that one person just be like, go on, keep going, keep doing it. But you're like, do you know what, it is my passion, and then people just help remind you of that sometimes along the way.
Absolutely. So it's been so meeting people along the way, learning a lot of life lessons. Biggest lesson it has been is you do need a lot of support behind you, especially if you're going on to like a public platform as well, because it's very easy to let comments and people get into your head and things like that. It's constructive, I'll take it on board, but hardly ever constructive. It's just pointing out something like random,
like, oh, your journey's the wrong way, or your footing's this, or
one key kind of element of like how dance with MVR came to light. It obviously at the time, you know, I was going through some stresses in life, as we all do. In life, there sometimes are situations that will happen where it's outside of your control, and all you can really do is make the best of a situation. And for me, I needed a bit of a refocus, and I just needed to keep going, really. And I think that's what the page gave me. It allowed me to keep going and keep exploring the dance journey. And the first video that we decided that we did and that kind of produced the page was Cyber. And it was me and Simran. We had no sort of, we didn't even plan to do it. We were out shopping in H&M. And literally she showed me the song. She literally she was like, listen to this, man.
This is the youngsters coming through with the
rapping. She was like, listen to this. And as soon as I heard it, a beat was going. I was like, this is a beat, like I can do something to this. And really, like, Simran Dadley, the singer, amazing, like so talented,
very powerful.
Love that song, like even to this day it's probably one of my favorites. So in that queue, and we were just in the queue of H&M, we were just bopping away to the song, and then we were like, we should do a choreo to this. Let's do something. Let's record something. And then all the way home in my head, I had like little moves and everything, and we got back, and it was literally,
wasn't it?
It was before we, and we might have been a little bit late, but but before we came, we were like, we need to do this. But it was literally in my conservatory, me and Sim I just threw some like Giddha moves together. She perfected a couple of things and a real team effort, and we recorded it, put it out there, and it got so much love.
It got
so much appreciation. I think more so for the song. The song was incredible, but it was like bringing my biggest sort of influence behind that was like bringing Giddha and performing it at kind of a different platform. It's almost like performing ballet to rap, you know what I mean? Like it was like very different. It wasn't a typical Giddha song or a Bhangra song.
But it was power. The song was powerful, the meaning was powerful, the dance moves were blooming powerful. And do you know what? Even your outfits, like if we're talking Insta here, like when people click on stuff, it's when something catches your eye. And like the first thing that'll catch your eye is, oh, okay, they look quite cool. Like they're literally like in joggers, like chilled us out. Click on it, and then you get this like powerful dance. If anyone hasn't seen it, please go right back down to the Dance with MVR page.
From there is where the journey kind of began.
Yeah.
And I've got lots more to talk about and lots more to say, but I don't want to bore you all in this one little podcast. So we're going to finish it off with just some fun little questions, fun little bullies.
I'm probably going to fail at everything.
What is your favourite bully? Let's go. Let's put you on the spot. Favourite bully, go.
I heard it. Literally, I saw it yesterday. So it's the Bandan ke mutiyara aya, Bandan ke mutiyara aya, aya patola banke ve. Ganna de vich pippal pattiyan bale 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 something ganna de vich pippal pattiyan wahi chuda chhanke Giddha jatiyan da vek shkina khadke Giddha jatiyan da vek shkina khadke Giddha jatiyan da.
How would you translate that into English?
Oh, okay. Oh, I actually really enjoy doing stuff like this. So Bantan ke mutiyara aya. So girls have all come dressed to the nines. Patola means like a younger, like a one of the girls type things.
The girl who's like she hot.
She's got some badass jewelry.
Yeah, earrings.
Got her really nice chudi on.
Giddha jatiyan da.
Vek shkina khadke Giddha jatiyan da. So someone's like Shakeen, like excited about looking at the girls doing Giddha. Vek shkina khadke Giddha jatiyan da. Yeah. So
get up and look at him.
Yeah, literally. Like
that was well explained, Jack. And the thing is, you know, there are times where we do get the pronunciations a little bit wrong.
And you'll have to forgive us for that.
So we're not perfect, but we're very much trying. And we are UK born and bred, obviously, you know, and we are trying our very best. So please forgive us if we have offended you or if we have sang something or said something wrong. But
we do give it a good try. Yeah. And then our mums will correct us after.
Exactly. Glass. My favourite. There's too many. I probably have to go with the Ratti Cinema Vic. I love that. I love Ratti Cinema Vic because she's just like, went to the cinema, did you?
Ain't come back.
You're not getting any roti. You're not getting your biscuit. You're not even getting let in the house.
Do what you gotta do, love.
Exactly. So that's probably one of my favourites. But there's just too many. Okay, so guys, that is our very first podcast. I would love to hear your comments and feedback on what you guys would like to hear more of. I don't want to be sat here just talking about myself and my dance page. We would love to cover certain topics. But the main idea behind this was a chance for us to kind of really open up like our lives to you and kind of for you guys to see the journey from a different perspective. You know, it has been hard work. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of dedication, tears at times as well, tears, frustration, and tantrums. But the biggest thing for me is been the support that I've got from friends and family, and Jas here as well has been a massive support for me. Just I'm a little cheerleader.
Man's defo my like, come on,
let's do this. Like, yes. But yeah, we would love to hear more about what you guys want to hear about. And
if you've got any nosy questions, is anything niggling that you're like, oh, I really want to ask that as well, definitely put them in. We'll filter how nosy they are.
And thank you for bearing with us with this American background that we've got. It's the only thing we can find in the house.
Yeah.
But
we've done a desi gun basically and just picked up whatever we've got and like, chalo, that'll do.
We're rookies, but we'll get there. But thank you for joining us, and hopefully we will be able to do this again. And that is a wrap.